For months, Luce Cannon was all up in interviews revealing street business, and everyone knew it was a matter of time before he was picked up by the feds.
I just got my husband, you guys.
And when his wife posted this video, everyone knew that his time had come. However, the indictment has some pretty shocking revelations of crimes. Luce was involved in crimes that only dudes in the streets and the feds knew about. And now that they have been revealed to the public, everyone believes that Luce is going to be sentenced and locked up forever. Even Big U, the man alleged to be the mastermind behind the extortion in LA, and even the murder of an up-and-coming rapper, has blamed Luce Cannon for the mess the Rolling 60s Crips are in right now. When
they raided my houses and my property, they was asking about whack, Luce Cannon, 600, and this internet stuff.
It's pretty wild. So let me put you on game. Luce Cannon behind bars on the 19th of March. This video of an ongoing arrest went viral. Turns out LA rapper and music producer Luce Cannon was being snatched up by the feds. The viral video posted on the No Jumper X page was recorded by a woman claiming to be Luce Cannon's wife, Cherise Mills, sounding distraught, saying,
I just got my husband, you guys.
This isn't the first time reports have surfaced involving the rapper with cops. Just 1 week before this incident, Cherise Mills took to social media to show that their home was being raided by cops and that she wasn't allowed to enter her home.
Oh my God, you guys. The entire block is surrounded. They will not let me come home. I have an entire police force outside. My husband is home. I'm just praying that he's okay. They won't let me through.
According to Cherise Mills, Luce Cannon was in the house during the whole ordeal. My husband is home. I'm just praying that he's okay. They won't let me through. What's interesting is that he wasn't arrested during this raid. I mean, it's kind of strange that he would be raided just 1 week before being actually arrested. But turns out he had been swatted. An anonymous caller had cops on him claiming that he was holding someone hostage at his house. According to the rapper, his wife and her mom had gone out to Starbucks, and when they came back, they found a swarm of cops outside their apartment block. At the time, he was at home with his 6-year-old son.
I'm inside with my son, right? He's 6 months. So her and her mom went to Starbucks to go and get something. So when they come back, she see all the cones and everything around there, right? So she called me. She was like, they not letting me on the block. They saying there's a hostage situation.
The rapper's wife called him and warned him that the cops had been called to their house. So he asked her to film and put the footage on the internet in case the cops shot.
I said, ask her what house. And she went to go ask, and then they was like, oh, baby, they talking about our house. She know I don't have nobody kidnapped. She just left me 10-15 minutes ago, right? So I told her, like talk to her. I said, but film it just in case I come out the house and they shoot me.
But Luce is a known Rolling 60s gangster, so his house was littered with everything illegal. So with a negotiator at his doorstep, he stalled and hid anything that would put him behind bars.
Negotiator came and was trying to talk to me, so I got stuff in the house. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what a real hood dude is doing is hiding and stashing everything, right?
Rapper was finally handcuffed, put on the back of a cop car as authorities searched the house for any hostages.
Lady, she was like, oh, we just want you to come with your hands up. So I took off my shirt, walked with my baby in the arms, put my hands up, walked back or whatever. She took the baby, they handcuffed me, put me in a car, and they was like, we're gonna just check and see if it's a hostage situation. If it's not or whatever like that, we'll let you go. And that's what.
Well, just 1 week later, the LA rapper was in handcuffs after getting caught up in every gang member's worst nightmare. A RICO charge. The cops called it Operation Drawdown.
Today, we're here to announce federal criminal charges against Eugene Henley Jr., a career criminal known as Big U, who used his contacts and leadership role in the Crips criminal street gang, the entertainment industry, and a youth charity to further his own criminal enterprise.
On March 19th, Luce Cannon, Brick Baby, Big U, and 16 other Rollin 60s affiliates were arrested in a federal complaint alleging racketeering crimes. The details in the indictment are wild, and if true, we'll see these guys doing some big meat numbers behind bars from murder to human trafficking. And even murder, these guys were terrorizing the streets. The allegations in the complaint unsealed today reveal a criminal enterprise that engaged in murder, extortion, human trafficking, and fraud, all led by a supposed anti-gang activist and purported music entrepreneur who was nothing more than a violent street criminal, said the acting United States Attorney Joseph McCann. What's crazy is that the guy at the top, Big U, was using the oldest trick in the book, hiding in plain sight. The lead defendant and others in this case have for too long gotten away with violent acts and stealing money from taxpayers and well-intentioned donors, whether they use intimidation tactics or wield influence as purportedly rehabilitated original gangsters, said the assistant director in charge of the FBI's Los Angeles field office. But the murder case Big U is implicated in is nasty business because it involved an up-and-coming rapper who he was mentoring and whose body was found in the desert in January 2021. 21-year-old aspiring rapper Ray Sean Williams would find himself caught up in a saga that would end in disaster. He had just been flown from California to Las Vegas by Unique Music, an independent record label. It was supposed to be a once-in-a-lifetime and opportunity. 1 week in a Las Vegas recording studio, making one song a day under the endorsement of Big U, a man who had coached him in football since he was a kid. But 5 days before his death, Williams recorded something else, a diss track, which is believed to have been directed at Big U. Unique Music paid to fly Williams from California to Las Vegas in January 2021 and put him up in an Airbnb. But according to witnesses, he began missing studio sessions because, according to the FBI, he didn't have a ride. Big U took this as disrespect because Williams was tarnishing his name, having recommended the rapper to Unique Music. So the gangster and his associate Demetrius Meach Robinson left Los Angeles and made the 4-hour drive to Vegas to confront the rapper. I believe that Williams wasting the time, thereby disparaging Big U's name and the Big U Enterprises reputation, and potentially flouting that disrespect with the lyrics of the disc song led to a dispute. The federal complaint reads the next day around 7 p.m. on January 24th, Big U showed up at the studio later. That evening, Williams finally showed up at the studio. He recorded until midnight. At 12:30 a.m. Big U left. Witnesses noticed the dark gray Lexus he and Meach had driven was gone. This is where the story turns dark. Big U's phone stopped reporting GPS location data at around 1 a.m. and resumed again at 2:15 a.m. At 1:13 a.m. surveillance footage from the rapper's Airbnb showed a dark gray or silver sedan arriving. Williams got out of the passenger side, went inside, and then came back out with his suitcase. What's strange is that he wasn't scheduled to check out until the next day, and his return flight wasn't until then either. Something was wrong, and he seemed to know it. At 3 a.m. Big U returned to the studio alone. Witnesses told authorities he appeared drenched either in sweat or water. When asked, he claimed he'd been coming back from the gym later that morning. At 9 a.m. on January 25th, Ryan Williams' body was discovered in a ditch near a Las Vegas landfill. He had been shot in the face with what investigators believed was a revolver, the kind of weapon that doesn't leave behind shell casings. Investigators later learned that after the murder, Big U ordered studio recording equipment to be removed and surveillance footage to be destroyed, footage that may have captured Big U and Williams leaving the studio together the night of the killing. DNA from Big U was compared to evidence recovered from Williams' body. Although the result was inconclusive, cops refused to rule out Big U from the murder. But that's not the only crime that Big U and his Rollin 60s Crips affiliates are being accused of, and now with 19 gang members behind bars. More details about their street activities are being revealed. What's interesting is that Luce Cannon is confident that he'll be out soon, and that he's been caught up in one big misunderstanding. Adam, 22, reached out to the rapper's wife, who gave the world an update on the rapper. Okay.
What's the update? What's going on?
When they picked him up, they took him to Henderson facility to get transported. He's going to be transported in the morning. I did just get off a call with him, and he's doing all right. We have good faith that this is all going to be debunked.
According to her, Luce is going to beat his charges because they were all based on hearsay, and that there were no witnesses testifying against him.
And best believe we will win this case because it's all BS. It's all hearsay. There's no actual facts. It's based off of a podcast interview. At the end of the day, they have no evidence against my husband. They can say what they want to say. They got nobody testifying against my husband. And I know that for a fact because I got the paper.
But despite loosening his wife's confidence, Big U has a different take on the RICO. According to him, Luce Cannon, 600 and Whack 100 are to blame for the situation. The gang members find themselves, and Big U is confident that the three have been revealing street business. Openly on the internet, Luce Cannon, accused of snitching Adam 22, and his No Jumper podcast have come under fire from fans because of all the self-snitching that has been going on throughout the years. No wonder people think Adam and the guys who work for him are. That's what's crazy, is that the No Jumper podcast was mentioned in the indictment. Even Big U, while on his way to turn himself in after the federal indictment was announced, blamed three regulars on Adam 22's platform, Luce Cannon, 600 and Whack 100, when they raided.
When they raided my houses and my property, they was asking about Whack, Luce Cannon, 600, and this internet stuff. All of y'all fired. All y'all who be sending around the internet, all y'all who be promoting and listening to what these...
Well, Big U does have a point, because Luce Cannon went on No Jumper and accused Big U of having something to do with Nipsey Hussle's murder. In an interview that was later taken down from the No Jumper YouTube page, Luce Cannon made some pretty bold claims that proved there was a conspiracy to take Nipsey Hussle out. According to the rapper, Big U called him 30 minutes before Nipsey was shot and killed. Shocked, Luce called his cousin Nipsey, who answered his phone.
And I'm on a phone, he FaceTimed me. So he FaceTimed me and stuff like that. He was like, Nipsey just got killed. I'm like, sick, so I didn't hear that. So I hang up with him. I called Nipsey and I'm like, Nipsey, what's up? He was like, oh, what's up with it?
Nipsey answered.
Nipsey.
According to Luce, 30 minutes after his phone call with Nipsey, he received a phone call informing him that his cousin had just been killed.
I talked to Nipsey and I was like, yeah, I love you, cuz, or whatever like that. I'll see you later or whatever. So I hung up the phone. I thought, Big U gave wrong information. 30 minutes later, the homies blowing me up like they just killed Nipsey.
On the 31st of March 2019, Hussle was shot at least 10 times outside of his store Marathon Clothing in Los Angeles and pronounced dead at 3:55 p.m. The official narrative was that Nip's killer, Eric Holder Jr., had approached Hussle about neighborhood rumors. He had started claiming Holder Jr. had snitched and cooperated with law enforcement. After pressing Nipsey, Holder Jr. walked over to his car, loaded a gun, and returned to confront the rapper and ended his life. Holder was found guilty of first-degree murder, 2 counts of attempted voluntary manslaughter, and 2 counts of assault with a firearm for gunfire that hit 2 other men at the scene who survived, and sentenced to 60 years to life in prison. But with Luke's revelation, it was clear that there was a conspiracy to take Nipsey out. What is even more shocking is that Charleston White had already revealed that Big U was behind Nipsey's death.
Big U had Nipsey Hussle killed. Everybody know that. Everybody know Big U called that hit.
According to Charleston White, the Rollin' 60s Crips, which Nipsey was part of, were jealous of the rapper because the young people in the city all loved and respected him. He had become bigger than the gang. His influence was too great, so he had to go.
They was really jealous of Nipsey Hussle, homie. All the big homies in the set was jealous of Nip because all the young love Nip. So Nip had got bigger than the set, cuz. Nip had connected Nip. Every Nip had got bigger than the set, cuz. Nip ain't big. Ain't nobody bigger than the set.
According to Charleston White, the Rollin' 60s Crips, which Nipsey was part of, were jealous of the rapper because the young people in the city all loved and respected him. He had become bigger than the gang. His influence was too great, so he had to go.
We'll go and do something, and the same we do it to, show up to the house like 10 minutes later when we trying to, counting everything, right? And we be like, how do they get that? Oh, well, we're gonna just give them like $40,000 back and stuff like that. But cuz it's actually putting us in paperwork, right?
Luce Cannon wasn't done truth-telling on No Jumper, and what he revealed next would eventually appear on the new RICO indictment. He revealed that Big U once orchestrated a robbery of a weed dispensary, which was committed by Luce Cannon. But according to the rapper, Big U later invited the victim of the robbery and returned some of the money they had stolen. The indictment revealed that this was Big U's clever plan of having businesses pay him for protection. As long as businesses would pay the Roland Crips leader, their establishments would remain safe from him and his gang. Big U was really moving like the mafia.
We all thought that was a bad drug deal, weed deal. You know that. The world thought that shooting was a bad weed deal between some Armenians or Persians. That's what the world thought.
Luce Cannon wasn't the only Roland 60s Crypt truth-telling on podcast, because Whack 100 has also been exposed for being a Fed, especially by Brick Baby, who was also indicted in the Rolling 60s reco.
My favorite hip-hop platform, World Star Hip Hop. And I got some bad news. I found out that my big homie is talking to the cops.
Who's that? Who, me?
What do you think I should do, T?
Who's talking to?
Truth is, Whack didn't really know that much about Wando Rondo's case because he thought that the shootout was a drug deal gone bad and not get back for King Bun.
So you think that he's a federal informant?
I think he's definitely working.
Everyone was so convinced that Whack was a federal informant that even World Star Hip Hop had put out a now deleted video claiming that Whack was working with the feds.
Until February of 2023 that Brick Baby goes on the internet with Flacco and says, out of nowhere, the world is oblivious to this. I guess they can't say OTF didn't slide for King Von anymore.
Now the tables have turned and Whack 100 is accusing Brick Baby of snitching on Lil Durk and bringing down F. And once you follow Brick Baby's digital footprints, you'll see that Whack is onto something. In a podcast with Adam 22, Whack revealed that according to his sources, Brick Baby has been working with the feds, especially after he was mysteriously picked up by the feds. So you think that he's a federal informant? I think he's definitely working. You see, months before Lil Durk and other members were arrested, Brick Baby had his house raided by the feds. What's weird is that although Brick was picked up by the feds and had to be bailed out by Adam 22, he was never charged, which according to Whack 100 means that Brick must be compromised and is feeding the feds intel. I mean, how else would you explain a known gang member getting arrested at home and being released with no charges, while months later Whack 100 finally revealed why Brick had been snapped up by the feds at his house? According to him, Brick Baby had gone on a podcast and snitched on Durk.
March, the feds get on Brick. We don't know this. We're under the presumption that it's an AK-47 case. But what really happened was they came there to get his cell phone.
While on an episode with Poetic Flacco, Brick Baby had revealed that no one says that Van's death wasn't avenged because F had killed Quando Rondo's cousin.